All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another reaction here. We're looking at the 1986 Celtics, but this is a documentary. This is from the NBC Sports Boston. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, if you guys ever tuned into that, but that's what we're gonna be looking into today. I've said it previously. I'll continue to say it. The best team all time, top to bottom, full roster and everything, is the 1986 Boston Celtics. And just learning about Red Auerbach, oh my gosh, he's a basketball icon. He's on the Mountain Rushmore of basketball. Especially, he's the architect of the Boston Celtics. No wonder they're a successful organization. I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous. I was envious of you guys, of the organization, but I got so much respect. So much respect for the organization. Without further ado, let's jump right into the documentary.
We won what we won.
1984.
We were a good team, 84. We have a really good, regular season, get in the playoffs, have a couple tough playoff series, but you play the Lakers.
I actually thought the Lakers were better than we were.
Playoff basketball at its best.
Well, we came to play, and we came to win.
Lakers had several chances, and here's Larry Bird chucking down the court.
Let's go. Ball movement. Physicality, guys.
Well, we just play like a bunch of women tonight. We can still play a lot harder.
They had gotten up on us 2-1 in the series, and Casey had said, no more layups. And Kurt Rambis happened to be the guy coming to the hole, and some guy fouled him hard.
Hey, that some guy was Kevin McHale. I seen that. Hey, honestly, if you really think about it, now, granted, basketball is basketball as team oriented, but come on, man. If you're tired of players laying up, dunking the ball, no wonder they had those. There was those back in the 90s, the physicality, they was going after, I think it was Detroit was going after Jordan. Hard fouls. Every time he was about to jump into the launching pad, hard foul. You got to send a message some way somehow, not too aggressively, but like back in those days, these are hard fouls. And today's NBA, they'll be considered like flagrant ones, flagrant twos. But you got to send a message. So I definitely agree with what Kevin McHale just said.
It was a heated rivalry, but that doesn't mean that those guys weren't talented. It wasn't like we were playing a bunch of plumbers. I mean, Mac Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they were every bit as good as we were.
Well, I thought we'd sweep them in 4, but this went a little bit longer. Now we just have to do it in 7.
Okay. Okay, guys, comment down below. Was he really serious when he said about sweeping them in 4? Guys, let me know. Let me know. Hey, jump in the comment section. Let me know, because I kind of do believe it, but you know what? Actually, that team was exceptional, man. They probably could have swept them in 4 games. Wow. Yeah, just thinking about the roster, the players, and of course, you got Larry Legend. That would actually be very interesting.
Once again, everybody, this is Johnny Bones. I'm on courtside here at the Boston Garden where the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers get ready for game number 7, the NBA Championship Series. Maxwell against Magic Johnson, moving inside. Basket is good.
Let's go.
Somehow he always goes unnoticed. Cooper goes for 3.
Woo, storm the court. Let's go.
Feels great. Whatever happened to the Los Angeles dynasty? You guys were talking about a dynasty. Here's where it is.
Look at Red Auerbach. Shout out to Red. Shout out to Red.
I feel like we didn't have enough firepower. Magic and Kareem have broken my heart too many times.
The Lakers are winning it. 3 in 6 years. LA comes to Boston and wins the world title.
I thought that loss in '85 was very painful for us. You know what? I think everybody there knew that we were better.
Here's another question, guys. Get in the comment section. Even though the Los Angeles Lakers won that year, would the Boston Celtics would have gone back-to-back championships, 1984 and also 1985 for that year? Or was the Laker team the better team that time? Let me know down in the comment section.
They finally snapped the jinx, and the Lakers won it exactly where they wanted to win this world title, underneath the banners of the Boston Garden.
Hey, number one, this is a really good intro. Love it. This is a really good intro to a documentary. Shout out to NBC Boston.
If greatness is measured strictly by championship banners, then the Boston Celtics epitomize the meaning of the word. 17 times they have raised banners to the rafters, commemorating the conclusion of another championship season. The most of any franchise in the history of the NBA.
That's actually true. That's actually true because let's see right here, 2008. Yeah, but then I remember I watched basketball a couple of years ago. Maybe it was it last year or the year before then, where the Boston Celtics won with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and all the other guys. I think it was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, and they have the potential to win even more. That's with the tandem that they have: Jalen Tatum, Jaylen Brown. No, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and all the other guys there. That potential there, yeah, W.
The Celtics were born in the proud blue-collar city of Boston, just 90 minutes east of Springfield, Massachusetts, where the game of basketball was invented, and now where the heroes of the hardwood are enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The Celtics are considered NBA royalty, basketball's first preeminent dynasty. They would reign over the NBA for nearly half a century under the rule of a transformative basketball mastermind, Red Auerbach.
Yep, genius. They got a cigar in a museum. Or hey, man, that is actually really good. Number one, he orchestrated that tradition. Number one, smoking those cigars during, and he called it victory cigars. Man, you just sit back, you know you got the victory in hand, just light it up. Hey man, Red Auerbach, learning about him when you guys kept recommending him and then started watching those videos. This guy right here is important for the game of basketball, number one. Number two, he's important for the organization of Boston Celtics. Come on, man. He's important for all of these Hall of Famers that he, paved the way, helped, coached, however you want to say it, enter the Hall of Fame. Hey, man. Got to give credit where credit is due. Red, I love his system, his coaching, his leadership. He doesn't yell. He don't have to, well, he's going to yell at the refs. But the way that he gets his message across, he listens to the players, he communicates, and his drills, and watching that video with the fundamentals with that 1986 Boston Celtics team, from shooting to rebounding to defense to every single that clip right there has to be shown to the new up and comers, the new generation that want to play the game of basketball. But without sidetracking, let's continue on.
Mental attitudes, the will to win, they all help to make the difference. But it's the team with the mastery of fundamentals that's the winning team. Playing hard, keeping in good condition, working as a team, playing championship ball fundamentally.
In 1957, the cigar-smoking visionary gave birth to the Celtics dynasty, claiming 9 titles as head coach.
Woo. 9.
It takes a real man to
9
make the
championships.
NBA, and a better one to stay there year after year.
Later, as general manager, he would be the architect behind 6 more championship banners, a total of 15 by 1984.
This is a team game, and
Yes.
let's play it like a team game.
Yes. Let's go.
Well, I grew up in the 60s, and I was in the 8th grade before I learned that the Celtics don't win the championship every year automatically in the spring. It was a rite of springtime. Forsythia's bloom, Celtics win the championship, we move on. The Celtics, as great as they were in the 60s, didn't really own the town, but it all began, this craze of NBA love and Celtic love. It begins with Larry Bird showing up in 1979.
Everything's starting to fall into place. I hope you all realize this. We have Larry, one or two little moves, and we're ready to go.
Larry was cut from the
Alright.
draft a year before he was eligible. That situation no longer exists. Red drafted him 6th overall. Everybody knew he was available. Everybody knew he was good. Red was the one that did it.
Okay, he's going to be a fine NBA player, but to become the all-time greatest forward of all time, which he was and is, people weren't sure about that yet.
Larry Bird was a damn good ball player.
Let's go.
I never visualized he'd become that great, but he knew how to win.
There you
and
go.
He was smart.
Red was in control all the time, and we knew that. He brought in players that we needed. We always felt that if we needed an extra piece, he could go get it. So it made it very easy for us.
Bird, along with the talented third-year forward Cedric Maxwell,
Nice.
made up the Celtics core in 1980. But Auerbach, desperately wanting to fill out his roster, seized the offseason to construct the foundation of a championship team.
It was Red playing chess when the others were playing checkers. He was ahead of people.
All of them were obtained by Red in very, what today would be called larcenous ways.
And of course, Red, being crafty Red, had his plan. He would say, I'd love to get my hands on that Robert Parrish because he can run.
Red traded for Parrish in 1980.
I go to New York for the draft, and I'm in my hotel room, and my phone rings. I answer the phone, and it was Red. And Red
Nice.
said, we just traded with Golden State, and we're bringing in Robert Parrish, but I'm gonna take you at 3.
When I got
Wow.
the call from the Warriors that I had been traded, after I got over the surprise and I hung up from the Warriors, I was like, yes!
So there's 3
Okay, I got a question. I've been hearing that you guys been saying that this is the greatest steal. Is this still the greatest steal in NBA history? Out of everything that's going on. Red Auerbach is a genius. He sees things, like they said, he sees things ahead of anybody else. Number one, I don't even know what to call it. Maybe intuition. His intellect is beyond comprehension, because when I watched his documentary back then, when he played the game of basketball, his dad didn't want him to play, and he had a passion for basketball. He had a passion for coaching. Then being a general manager, along with being the head coach, he didn't have no assistant coaches at the time, so everything was on him. So that's what makes, in my opinion, the greatest coach of all time. He didn't have no. Nowadays, you see, like, I can't even count, probably like 8 assistant coaches. I don't know, like sitting behind the bench, maybe 6. But he did everything. He was a scout himself. So that right there is beyond imagination. To be able to see and know what talent is and go after it. So getting Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale, was that the greatest steal of all time?
players right there, that front line, that were all obtained by really, really smart trades.
Back in '81, Robert had to start playing right away, and he was in no condition to play. And Kevin was just a rookie, and we didn't know how he was going to do, but it all turned out we won a championship.
Red's roster moves resulted in a title in 1981. But the audacious Auerbach spent the offseason pursuing a gifted athlete whose intensity rivaled Larry's. Unfortunately for Red, he was trying to catch a bird of a different feather.
Danny Ainge, All-American.
Danny Ainge.
And in fact, he was playing for the Blue Jays.
I'm playing baseball. I'm not going to play basketball, he said. Well, Red said, okay, I'll take you. He took him in the second round.
In 1981, the baseball strike happened. The Celtics and Blue Jays fought in court over who had rights, and Blue Jays won the battle, which ensued a big negotiation. Blue Jays were trying to trade my rights to other baseball teams. People were throwing, plastic basketballs out on the field, and ultimately a settlement happened, and the Celtics paid a big price, and my career choice was made right then and there.
Everybody was talking about Rick Roby. What's he want to do? Is Rick Roby going to be traded? Is Rick going to stay? What's Rick's thoughts on all this?
Well, this summer, I came out and I said that I'd like to be traded.
Red gets Dennis Johnson for Rick Roby.
Dennis Johnson was stolen from Phoenix.
Dennis Johnson didn't give a damn. Dennis Johnson had the total personality to stand up and mesh with this great front court.
Red.
Bro. All of these moves that's being made, man. This guy right here, Red Auerbach. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's a freaking genius, man.
Used his intelligence and his shrewdness, and he stole them all. And people wonder today, well, how good is
this? Is the greatest steal.
I used to tell him, you had a good summer? Anybody patting you on the back? I said, it's going to take 2 losses in a row for people to say, who are those bums?
By 1985, the Celtics, with Bird and McHale Parrish, had now won 2 championships and had lost a tough finals in '85 to the Lakers. The one reason that they had not won in '85 was Cedric Maxwell had gotten injured in the middle of the season and never got back to where he was.
Celtics forward Cedric Maxwell was the Finals MVP in 1981 and a key component of the 1984 championship roster. Cedric started alongside Larry Bird for 6 straight seasons, but the savvy scorer sensed his time as a starter was coming to an end.
I understood the chemistry of the team was going to change when I saw Kevin McHale score 56 points when I got hurt. So it's like, well, that'll be the last time I'll be starting.
Yep.
That's probably it right there.
Max was, one of my favorite teammates. He was fun, great sense of humor, very loose player, and a very good player.
Maxwell is just dirt when compared to Kirk. Wait a second, what is this?
Cedric Maxwell is a very vital player, but there was a falling out.
Cedric had angered Red Auerbach because he had been hurt the year before and he didn't come to Summer League. To this day, Cedric will tell you, why should I have to go to Summer League? I was a veteran at the time. I was recovering from an injury. Well, Red wanted him there, that's why.
Red was still mad at Max. It was all that nonsense about Max's not coming back from the knee injury fast enough.
He and Red had issues. It was contract issues, effort issues on Red's mind. He didn't think that Max was giving him the effort that he wanted, and I think Bird felt that way a little bit too.
I never talked to Larry. I don't think any of my teammates. I felt isolated. The only person I talked to about this basically was my attorney, and he was telling me what was about to happen or what could happen.
Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away in Los Angeles, an aging center was contemplating how to save his capsized career with the Clippers.
I had
Mr. Bill Walton.
Brutally long, painful, lonely, disastrous years on the Clippers.
Bill Walton, a 2-time national champion with UCLA in the early 70s, would go on to be the NBA MVP and capture a title with the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977. But injuries plagued him throughout his career, and it appeared the prolific big man was a sinking ship with the Clippers.
Walton, remember, had signed amid great fanfare with the Clippers from Portland and never lived up to it for them because he was never healthy.
Bill was at a point in his career where he'd been hurt for so long, he hadn't won for so long, and he needed something fresh and something new.
I just desperately wanted to have it be fun again. I wanted to be part of something that was good and positive and upbeat and happy and the celebration of life that basketball always has been for me.
Bill Walton did not want to come to the Boston Celtics. He wanted to go to the Lakers. Desperately.
Wait a
Growing up here in Southern California, I always want to be here. I called the Lakers about being on their team. Jerry West, a lifelong friend. Jerry said, no, Bill, I've seen your feet, and we don't want any part of that.
When that didn't come to pass, then I think he became hell-bent on getting to the Celtics and helping them beat the Lakers.
Oh, yes.
I called Red Auerbach.
Now I like this backstory. Yes. Now I like this backstory. And he gave a call to Red Auerbach, and let's see what Red Auerbach said.
And at the time I got Red on the phone that he was having a meeting with Larry about the future of the team. And so when I told Red that I wanted to become a Celtic, Red said, please hold the line. And so Red put his hand over the phone and looked across the desk at Larry and said, hey, Larry, this guy Walton's on the phone from California. He wants to come be on the Celtics. What do you think? Larry leaned over immediately and said, Red, go get him.
Hey,
So
now
they came to me with.
that's what I like, man. Getting like opinions from your star player, whatever it is, whether if it works out or not. But I just like the fact that Red included Larry and the decision making, man. That's what's up.
The idea, like, well, you know, we can trade you to the Clippers. And I was so upset because of all the negativity around me that I did whatever I could to try to make that trade happen.
Cedric Maxwell, you don't just hand him away. You know, he was expendable because McHale was still coming off the bench. You can live without Max if you can justify, you know, who you're going to get in return.
So Walton was a gamble, no question, because of his health. You just didn't know, could he play enough games to have an impact on this team?
While Walton's health was the subject of fierce speculation, a bigger question remained for Boston. Would Walton ever suit up for the Celtics?
We all knew the deal was going to be Bill for Cedric, but the fly in the ointment was Donald Sterling, who was the owner of the Clippers at the time. It took all summer for them to finally convince Donald that, yes, we have to make this deal. Bill will go and, you know, you'll get Cedric.
I was just very soured by what I perceived to be as total disrespect to somebody who had played as hard as I had played, and then the trade was done.
I'm gonna be honest. I understand how Cedric Maxwell feels, to be honest. But at the end of the day, business is always business. You feel me? He was a great player. He contributed really, really, really good to the Celtics. You know, I understand how he feels. You know, you want to feel valued as a player. I think there was a falling out though. He didn't show up to, was it like a training camp or something? And you know, Red Auerbach, man. It's all about effort. It's all about effort, man. It's about giving it your all. I don't know what happened at that time, but business is business. That's all I got to say.
It's obvious that my relationship with the organization was strained, and I think I did need to go, and I think that the situation was good for both people, for myself and Walton.
We grew up idolizing Walton. I had this feeling, and Larry and Kevin, I think, did too, of this, like, Bill Walton is coming to play for the Celtics.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bill hadn't really.
Imagine having a former MVP, NBA championship, even though other than his health. But honestly, if you could do a rehab system with him to get him right, even if you get like a 60-70% Bill Walton, that's still a big contribution to the team.
He had impact in the NBA in a while. There was still this mystical player and had been the greatest college player in history. 88 consecutive wins, thank you very much. You know, wins the championship for Portland.
In 1977, his NBA championship run was one of the most incredible and individual performances that I've ever witnessed in NBA history.
There was, again, this mystique about him. He was very kind of foreboding when he was with the Clippers.
Here was this Hall of Fame player, this great player who had become depressed over basketball. He'd lost his love for the game. And when he came to Boston, to him it was a chance to rejuvenate not only his career, he'll tell you his life. He'll say to you, Larry Bird saved my life.
Red,
wow.
Larry, the Celtics,
wow.
The people in New England, they didn't give me my career back. They gave me my life back.
Bill deals with hyperbole. Everything's the greatest of all time. This is the greatest sandwich I've ever eaten. That's how he rolls. That's why we love him.
The energy and the enthusiasm that he brought to this team, as a sixth man, mind you, a guy that wasn't going to start, I think it just transformed that whole lineup, and everybody loved him.
He came in town a few days early, and the first place that he stopped was at my house. And that said a lot about the person. You know, he wanted to make sure that I didn't feel threatened, make sure that he's going to be received very well.
He brought a real sort of...
Come on! That's what I like to hear. That's what I like it to. Yes. Yes. Go go to a player's house, sit down with them, talk, but make sure that it's all about the team. It's not about I don't want to mess up the chemistry or anything. I actually want to contribute to it. Yeah, I like this. I really like this. It's that unselfishness, man.
I think reminder for the rest of them that this is fleeting. It can, on a dime, it can change at any moment. Let's embrace this. Let's enjoy this. Let's make this happen. Let's make this work. And I think for a lot of them, some of the motivation. Of course, they always wanted to win, but it's like let's get one for Bill too.
Yeah, let's go.
As the Celtics prepared for the upcoming season, Red Auerbach continued to add depth to Boston's roster. With Walton coming off the bench to help the Big Three, Red used the 20th pick in the 1985 draft to select Michigan State guard Sam Vincent.
Man, I was that rookie who didn't know anything, just, along a little bit for the ride. It's funny because I was kind of in awe a little bit of where I was.
Sam Vincent wasn't the only addition to the Celtics bench, surprised to find himself in Boston. Shooting guard Jerry Seasting joined Bill Walton as another key veteran addition.
So when Walton and I came, we knew we were going to be, coming off the bench, and we had Scott Wedman and we had Greg Kite and Carlisle. We had a pretty good bench, and everybody knew from day one at training camp that if we didn't win the championship, the season was going to be a failure.
Going through camp, knowing that we had an extra big and Jerry from a shooting standpoint, and been very active with the point guards, we felt we had a good chance to making a hell of a run.
We used to practice at this place called Hellenic College, and it was right around the corner from Larry's house.
Bill Walton will tell you that he would get phone calls before practice from Larry and Kevin coming to say, "You get your ass in here. We're going to kick it up and down the floor over at Hellenic today."
Let's go.
Well,
let's
I
go.
love this. This is a wet dream for him that he's playing with these guys on this team. That these are the people he's playing with.
Bill had his own identity, his own team in practice, and they put up good battles every day. It was a test.
Bill gave Larry, Kevin, myself, he called us the stat rats. Let's go kill those stat rats, F them all. All they want to do is pad their stats, so he get them all hyped.
Yes, this is what I like to see. Yes, yes. So if Bill Walton had the second string going against, I'm pretty sure those practices was intense, but at the same time, it was competitive. I see all smiles, like, oh man, this is good. This is good.
The first year, they could do everything. We had to come each and every day. We tried our best, but this was truly a starting five. Oh my gosh, for the ages.
When you look at the 5 players that were starting, I still think the greatest starting lineup of all time, I think it's the greatest NBA team of all time, is the 85-86 Celtics. I do.
Larry has had back-to-back MVPs, and he's headed toward a third MVP.
There was a guy who wasn't the fastest, wasn't the highest jumper, wasn't the tallest, wasn't the strongest, but he was the best.
He was as good as he's ever been. He was in prime of his career, and he was the leader of that team.
Larry was very quiet. Larry didn't say a whole bunch of stuff, but boy, you could tell when he was pissed and he was ready to go to work. Believe me, it showed.
His game was putting it in your face.
The toughest minded, the hardest working, guy on our team.
He mastered the game. He literally mastered the game.
Look at all these people talking about him, man. Getting goosebumps right now. I'm getting goosebumps right now just hearing them talk about Larry Bird, man. Guys, man, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, Larry Legend, Larry Bird, I see why you guys are big fans of his. I see why the legends talk about him. He's different. He's different. There's so many hypotheticals that could have happened. Number one, he's unselfish. All he cared about was winning. He could have easily had the scoring titles and all these other things. I still believe he's a great scorer. He's a great three-point shooter, even though the three-point line was introduced his rookie year. But that three-point shooting contest where he won, was it back to back, or did he win all three or something like that? But his unselfishness, his leadership, right? His motivation, the way that he improved his teammates. Come on, man. What other general would you go to war with other than Larry Bird, man? Man, he's the reason why I'm gonna keep saying the reason why I put him above MJ and the GOAT conversation is because I'm biased, all right? I love all-around players. I love unselfish players, right? You don't got to score 30 a night, 25 a night. Larry could have a 20, 10, and 7 night and be dominant. Or how about he had that 8-point game in the 1981 against Houston Rockets in the NBA Finals, 8 points the entire game, but was able to impact it. This is why his impact is why I'm putting him over MJ. Now, I'm not taking anything away from MJ. MJ is right there, right? 1A, 1B. 1A is Larry Bird. 1B is Michael Jordan. It's debatable, and to each his own too.
Kevin McHale, who is 28 in the prime of his career, our best defender.
McHale would have been a 3-4-time MVP with the skill set he had, but understood that the way the team worked, that Bird needed to be the alpha, and he was fine with that.
Kevin was as good as anybody I've ever seen.
He was automatic on the post. Nobody could guard him.
Up and under.
He's the best.
Hook, righty hook. I saw it all.
He's the best. He's the best or one of the best in the post. This guy, I've seen his footwork. Damn. I can't wait to see his highlights.
Kevin's footwork, his moves, his imagination, his creativity, but more so his personality.
You know, I people that always say, what do you do? I said, I don't work at basketball. I just was like, you know, I just show up and play. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. I did all this work and stuff, but I never wanted to tell anybody what the hell I did. I figured if they couldn't figure it out, then good for me.
Robert Parrish, you know, if he's the third best player on the team, you can argue that he would have been the best player in the history of about 10 other teams.
During the games, always so stoic, had the stone face there.
I've never seen another center run the floor as beautifully and seemingly effortlessly as Robert Parrish.
I mean, Larry and Robert, you talk about pick and roll duos. Huh, you kidding me? You know, I mean, who's better than that today? You know, there's good ones, but they're not better.
To me, he's one of the most underrated centers in NBA history.
Robert was a major player on them teams.
Damn, that says a lot.
Successful, and he probably gave up more than anybody.
I had the lesser ego of the three of us, and I think that really helped us to gel and stay in sync with one another.
With McHale moving into the starting role alongside Parrish and Bird, the big three of the Celtics frontcourt was formed. But it would be two tenacious guards who would complete the Celtics starting five.
The best player in big situations, I thought, was DJ, not because he scored a lot of points, he did all the dirty work. He had to guard all the best players, he had to guard Magic, but just his mentality. When Dennis Johnson drove the basketball to the basket, he was serious about winning a basketball game.
You know, didn't look like he was fast, but he was deceptively quick.
Dennis Johnson's one of those guys that he could be 0 for 10, and he wouldn't hesitate to take number 11, and you don't mind if he did.
You just knew he was going to make the shot. So he finished 1 for 12 with the game winner. That was DJ's game.
Wow.
By the time 1986 rolled around, I was really comfortable with being the villain.
What can I tell you? I mean, booed everywhere in the league. You must be a rotten guy.
I am, Johnny. I'm a bad guy.
Wait, what was Danny Ainge the villain? Hold on. What am I not knowing? What story? I knew about the whole, hey, I'm not going to lie. The battle between Boston and was it the Blue Jays on who was it? Who could get Danny Ainge? That was crazy to hear. That was crazy to hear. Wow.
I'd love to boo me, and I was really, really comfortable in that role for the Celtics.
He was the bratty little brother. He was the one everybody picked on.
Danny, we always picked on Danny, but Danny was tough.
He was irritating. Ooh. He was a little gnat. He was bothersome, and boy, could he shoot.
Danny never gave up a cheap basket in his life. He was tremendous on the fast break. He was a three-point shooter.
He showed up and played every day, hurt, You know, he grinded it out. He gave you everything.
Damn.
My teammates and my coaches appreciate me, and my opponents don't appreciate me, and that's okay. I mean, that's the way I want it. I don't want the players I'm playing against to play against me.
I got the ultimate compliment from Walton in a moment of passion and frustration with our team, said that I was the only one on the team doing my job because I'm being booed in every arena in the NBA. And so I go, thanks, Bill. It's like a great compliment.
When Bill came in, Danny sort of turned the switch over and started bullying him. So it was interesting to see.
We had fun competition internally all the time. Larry and I used to play one-on-one, sort of half-court one-on-one before practice very often each day to get loose and warmed up. But we had friendly competitions.
The looseness of the locker room, and every day it seemed like the guys couldn't wait to get to practice, see one another.
And I called foul, and you said no and continued to play. You said you could stop me anytime you want anyway, so give me the ball. Give me the ball and prove it.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. Woo. Okay, Danny. Damn. Those battles there in practice. No way, man. That's out of this world. That's out of this world, man. I know the competitiveness is there. The battles is there, but that unity between everybody, man. Oh man, that camaraderie is really, oh my God, it's beautiful to watch.
This 86 team might be considered among the best team of all time, but it was really the green team was the best team of all time.
The Green Team, comprised of the Celtics bench players, took great pride in challenging Bird and the starting five in practice.
I knew it.
Well, the Green Team,
I knew it.
Those years with Seasteen, Walton, those guys had something to prove. They would beat the white team sometimes in practice.
It was a very special second unit. We knew that our role was to help. Our job was to do what the other guys couldn't do all day long.
The green team would start talking trash about winning a game. Everybody would just be yelling, "Case, let's scrimmage, let's quit doing this. We just wanted to play them." And as Bill used to like to say, well, let's let them win one so we can go home. Like, we weren't going to stop practice until he said the white team, or as he called it, the stat team, till the stat team won.
We started even keeping a running tally in the locker room a lot of times on who was winning the scrimmages.
It got to the point where the white team would cheat and erase,
No.
add different tallies. They just couldn't keep up with us.
There was just so much competitiveness and so much trash being talked. At a certain point, you went like, you forgot that you were tired, you forgot about everything, you just went out there and competed, and it was fun.
They had shooting depth, they had defensive depth, they had rebounding depth. That Green Team, they were the difference between 85 and 86 and why the Celtics were so much stronger.
The difference between this team and last year, I would say, would be the health of the team and an improvement in the bench.
Head coach K.C. Jones, in his third season leading the Celtics, had one of the most talented teams in the NBA, but the challenge rests in managing that talent.
KC's strong suit, in my opinion, was his people skills. He had the ability to make that 10th, 11th, and 12th guy feel just as important as the guys that was playing every night.
I don't know that Casey ever got fully the credit that he deserved for what he did on the floor. Yes, they were great players, but still you've got to have a manager, and that's a coach usually that could put all that together and make it successful.
How would you compare the confidence on this team to the clubs you played with, the world champion teams?
The same. There's the 9 years I played, we were the cockiest team in the whole league. And for those 9 years, and this team matches that, which I like very much.
There was no ego out of control with Casey Jones. There was no self-promotion. There was no individual agenda. It was all about the team. It was all about us.
When Case would come in and
nice,
yell and curse, we'd all go, ooh, man, we must have really crossed over a bad bridge to get Case that mad, because Case was very calm. And he didn't do it very often, but boy, when he did, he got our attention.
In Casey, I find a brilliant person, a brilliant coach, and a brilliant man with just enough room to let us get a little lead.
Is that a black guy? Did something happen at practice that, guys, did something happen at practice? Why is there a black guy there? Come on, man.
And then snap it right back to make us go right.
I remember one time in particular, DJ was not happy that Kevin didn't pass him the ball out of a double team. And so he sort of acted out on the court. And I remember KC was so mad that he actually challenged DJ to a fight in the locker room after the game. Like, you know, you're not going to screw this team up. But I mean, like, KC was willing to just like do whatever it took. We're not going to have any of that.
For me, it was just a joy to be coached by a guy who I really respected a lot and liked a lot.
We had most of the summer to celebrate. It's a new season now, and this is an important game tonight. There's no question about that. I think we learned from the past that we can't dwell on a championship year. You have to come back and start on over, and I think we've been pretty successful in doing that.
The NBA couldn't get enough of the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. The teams got reacquainted early and often in the preseason.
This is on the heels of being in the finals with them in '85. So these teams did not like each other, you know, and so it's almost like a playoff series and exhibition season.
There's just not enough of it during the regular season to get a real rivalry.
They had signed Maurice Lucas to be their enforcer that year.
It's a good situation for me. It's a situation that is good for my game.
Late in the game, he and Robert Perry square off. They start going at it, both benches empty. Casey Jones had Michael Cooper in a headlock like this with his eyes about ready to come out. So I go, I like this, coach.
The Celtics were prepared for the challenge of the '85-'86 season as they focused their attention on the lowly New Jersey Nets for Game 1 of the regular season.
I remember, like, Larry was playing practical jokes before the game. Our team was so loose and confident. Larry was tying KC's shoestrings together in our pregame meeting, and, you know, just to get laughs out of everybody.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe the story that Danny told, that Larry tied his shoes. I think Danny probably tied his shoes.
Bird and the Celtics looked relaxed as they took to the court ready to cut down the Nets in New Jersey. But ultimately, it would be the Celtics who would get tripped up on opening night.
5 seconds. 4. Richardson got it.
Whoa.
Tied it up. Here it is to Bird. It is no good. We're going to overtime.
We did everything we could to lose. We did everything wrong.
Bill had a terrible game. I mean, he was so pumped for that game. I mean, his first game with the Celtics.
All of us who
I seen that beer can. I seen that beer can.
He was so
I
pumped
seen
for
that beer can. There it is.
I mean, his first game with the Celtics.
all of us who were there, the memory of that game, of course, is talking to Bill Walton after the game, who announces, I was a disgrace to the game of basketball. And we're like, okay, this is going to be great this year.
The honesty,
we had
yeah.
this brilliant team, and
accountability.
We should have won all the games, but we didn't, and I was responsible for a lot of the losses, including the very first one. It was a disastrous performance, and at the end of the game, I took full responsibility, and I am a disgrace to the sport of basketball, and I let my team down.
William said it every time we lost. So you can't buy into that.
I remember Larry taking off his shoes, Bill standing up and go, I would like to apologize to everybody who ever put on a Celtic uniform. You know, started off with this thing. I remember Larry like getting about halfway through his shoe, and Bill did this whole thing, and he goes, I sure as hell hope we play better, because I can't stand listening to that 81 more times. And we all just started laughing. And I just said, someone throw me a beer. I think I had a beer. I was like, oh, what a lousy game. And we just kind of moved on from there.
The Celtics packed up and headed to Cleveland, claiming their first win of the season before heading home to host the Bucks.
Nice
the
ball
Garden Crowd
movement.
would get their first glimpse
Yeah.
of Boston's new Green Giant.
He loved it. I've never seen a man come into a training camp.
That is a standing
Walton's
ovation.
teammates and the Boston fans held him in the
Hey,
highest regard
let's
for his play on the
go.
court. But there was much more to Bill than the game of basketball.
I remember we were working out before the season, and Bill has to go to North Dakota to sit in for an Indian reservation. I don't know what they were doing there, but smoking peace pipes, I'm sure, had something to do with it. Bill was hilarious. He just made me laugh every day. The guy was just such a crack up.
He was like this throwback to the Woodstock era.
Oh, he was still pretty much a character at that time. You know, I mean, he's the original Deadhead. I think, at least in the Hall of Fame, a Deadhead following the Grateful Dead around.
Walton had followed the psychedelic rock band The Grateful Dead since the early 1970s as a loyal fan and a close friend of vocalist Jerry Garcia.
We had Grateful Dead stickers plastered all over our lockers. And I went up to Bill and I said, Bill, you got to, you know, help me with this Grateful Dead stuff. Like, I'm not feeling it. You know, why don't you give me some music of theirs that you like? And so he gave me a cassette or whatever, and I went home and I actually listened to it that night and was listening to the music. And I came back the next day and I had the cassette in my hand and I said, Bill, I'm not feeling it. What is your very favorite song from the Grateful Dead? He grabs that cassette out of my hands and he goes, when you're a Dead fan, it's all one song.
One day I was warming up at practice and Larry and Kevin came over and cornered me. And they said, what's going on, Walton? There's all these new people in town. They all have long hair. They're all wearing those funny tie-dye shirts that you always wear and they smell really weird. What's going on? I said, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And so Larry and Kevin said, come on, are the Grateful Dead in town? I admitted that they were on their way. Is there going to be a concert? Yes. Are you going? Yes. Do you think we could come too, Bill? I think we could work something out. The whole team came. Everybody except Danny. His wife, Michelle, wouldn't let him come.
For 2 nights in early November 1985, the Grateful Dead headlined the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts, with special guest Bill Walton and the Boston Celtics.
We pulled up to the arena and Bill Walton walks to the back door. We have no tickets, we have nothing. And some guy opens the door, doesn't anything, he goes, Bill Walton, I'm with the band. And he just walks in and he goes, and they're with me. No backstage passes. Bill goes, where's the band? Well, we go to a room and next thing you know, Jerry Garcia walks in, the entire band walks in and Bill's there and they can't start the concert until they get a chance to talk to Bill. The promoter's like going, you know, we're supposed to go out at 7:30, now it's 7:40 and they're going like Bill's here. We're not done talking with Bill yet, and Bill's introducing people, and he's like, it's like old home week with the guy. We're having a beer, we're watching the concert, and Jerry Garcia gets up there and he says, sorry we're late, but our old friend Bill Walton came, and of course we couldn't come. And the place just starts cheering, like, well, of course you couldn't, because you had to hang out with Bill for a while. It was just amazing. And then we sat on stage for the concert, and those guys were like 5 feet from us, and I looked at Bill and I go, boy, you are something.
When the concert was over, they all looked at me with their kaleidoscope eyes, and they said, wow, can we come back tomorrow? And that they did.
Okay,
okay. I was shaking my little narrow butt, to be honest. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
That honestly was a typical day in the life of Bill Walton. And when you got to hang around with Bill, you saw and did a lot of interesting things.
I still don't get the Grateful Dead, but he still loves it.
Oh, man,
Despite
Danny.
Boston's season-opening loss to New Jersey, the Celtics quickly got things back on track.
Losing can be a good thing because we was able to refocus. And not to mention, I think losing keep you humble.
Bird clears. Up ahead to E. Harris beats the pack.
Boston dominated the competition decisively as they ascended to the top of the Eastern Conference. The Big Three and company won 17 of the next 18 games, with the last 3 victories coming on the road.
He's a testing red R back and most what a pass by Walton.
That pass.
On the road, there's all kinds of different things going on. A lot of friends want to come out for tickets and go out after games and different things. And at home, you just felt more comfortable.
For Bird and the Celtics faithful alike, solace was found at home under the roof of an aging basketball cathedral, the Boston Garden.
I look at the banners each and every time, each and every game, and look at the retired numbers and look around, and you know, I love that place.
The Boston Garden is Boston Celtic basketball. That's it. You don't get better than that. I mean, where else can you go in the NBA and find anything like the Boston Garden? Nowhere.
The Garden, of course, had character. It had been there forever. You would walk up these wide tunnels to get there. There were no stairways. It was an old building. Everything echoed in there. You weren't too far back. The building didn't spread out like this. The building more went up like that. So even if you were in the second balcony, you were looking down.
Well, I thought it was awesome. I remember going there for the first time it caught me off guard a little bit. It was upstairs of the train tracks.
The Garden reeks of tradition, and you go in there, and I think not only psychs up the fans and the Celtics, but I think it also kind of makes the other players a little leery of where they're playing. And they not only have to beat the Celtics, they have to, in a way, beat the Garden.
Boston would use any means necessary to beat you, and it did get into their heads. Their building was considered, you know, a point of hell for other teams.
There was no air conditioning. Some say there was air conditioning in the home locker, there wasn't in the visiting locker.
That's how stupid they are.
Oh, man. You don't, hey, AC, no AC. It's still basketball, guys. Hey, I don't know how it felt in that building, but AC or no AC, I know conditioned. You got to be conditioned to be playing in that Boston Garden. But let's see what Red's going to say.
Playing in a different place. If it's hot for them, it's hot for us.
Yes,
like
yes.
They complain the showers, there wasn't enough hot water. I said, well, that's the luck of the Irish. It's too bad. We didn't have hot water either. I wouldn't tell them that.
They thought that, you know, the cold water was turned off in the showers and the thermostat was jacked up in the room and the dead spots were memorized.
You didn't know from night to night when you was going to have I wouldn't say it was a dead spot. It's either a lively spot or the ball wouldn't bounce back to you correctly. And usually it was around the center circle, out in the middle. But it changed from game to game. I think it depended on how hard they screwed the bolts down to the floor. But it's been there since Russell, so if it's good enough for Bill,
there it is.
It's good enough for me.
A lot of the NBA crowds are corporate crowds, but the Celtic fans, they wore their tennis shoes in the hope, in the dream that KC might put them into the game.
Their support and belief in us kind of propelled us on to some victories.
During the games, the crowd, the fans, and it felt like they was right on top of you. Obviously, they were behind you 100%. So it was a thrill to play there. It really was.
Seeing all the other fans who have been there throughout the entire string of Celtic championships, and to realize that now I'm a part of that. And although we haven't won the championship yet, we think we're going to.
There was no doubt they were going to win every game at home. We were all sure of it because that's how dominant they were.
With a record of 17-2, the Celtics took their 9-0 home record back to the Garden to take on the Portland Trail Blazers in early December.
It's the Celtics versus the Trailblazers. The championship banners hanging from the rafters of the Boston Garden represent the fact that the visitors very rarely get a chance to taste the sweetness of success.
They had all these guys. They were like 6'3" to 6'5". They could jump out of the gym. And I called them the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Flying Burrito Brothers. That's what they called it. It was Steve Coulter, who was a very quick 6'1" or 2 guard, and the young Jerome Kersey was a real, aggressive, very exciting 6'7" forward.
Steve Coulter the rebound. 10-point Blazer lead. Kersey make it 12.
We were playing hard, we were playing good, and they got on a run, and they just ran it down our throats.
They lead by 10. Coulter, nice drive.
The guy that killed him was Steve Coulter. They had trouble containing him. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
8 seconds. Coulter is going to have to take this outside jumper.
Damn.
I mean, they were attacking us, and the speed that they had in their backcourt was really too much for us because they had us on our heels all day.
Whoa, it's getting
hey, yo.
Kersey and Ainge started throwing the elbows around.
Once again, they didn't give up. They were down fairly big. They came back, took the lead. The lead lasted 15 seconds.
By Bird, Coulter, Kersey.
And one of those Flying Burrito Brothers scored right away. Boom, that was it. And they stretched it out, won by 15. That was the only loss of the year at home.
We had a major letdown tonight. We've been getting.
That was the only loss of the year? What? 50-1. I remember you guys was in the comments saying that. They only lost to this team right here. This Portland Trail. Oh, man. Whoa. Portland Trail Blazers, man.
Getting off to some early leads, and we just came out really flat. By far the most flat we've been throughout the whole season.
I do know why Portland beat us because they were better.
Could have been they could have been undefeated.
They just downplayed them. Nobody's perfect. They were damn good, but not perfect.
We have to be motivated. We're the Boston Celtics, and sometimes I think that we feel we can just show up and win, and that's not the case. We got to show up to play our best in order to win because teams are gunning for us night in and night out.
Say cheese. Cheese.
In December, the Celtics got into the holiday spirit with their families as Boston was given the gift of basketball on Christmas Day.
The Christmas Day game was then and still is now. You know, it's a big game for the players. Everybody's watching.
In those days, you know, the national TV was a big deal.
It was the Knicks, and there was always this Boston-New York thing, no matter what sport it is.
It was an early afternoon game, so the team was required by the league to be in New York the night before the game, which is Christmas Eve.
An incoming snowstorm had forced the Celtics to head to New York early on Christmas Eve. As players said goodbye to their families and headed off to face the Knicks, one player had different plans for the holidays.
Kevin decided not to accompany the team to New York the night before.
I just said, well, I want to wake up and have Christmas with my family. Kids are opening up the presents. They were young, and I went like, I'm going to come down on a plane.
Kevin wasn't there on the flight the night before with us, and he come walking on saying, well, I got children. Well, we all got family, you know. I mean, it's just not, you know, does your 3-year-old kid or 4-year-old kid know it's really Christmas? Could you fake them out a day or two later?
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Larry would say. I mean, that's how he kind of.
That's kind of facts. That's kind of facts. Oh, man.
This point across, you know, it'd be more of a stinging little jab one-liner like that. All of us want to stay home on Christmas, you know, with the kids, but, you know, those are hard choices. He showed up right before he got on the bus, so everybody was just kind of ticked off and in a bad mood that we were even down there for Christmas anyway, and so we kind of took it out on the Knicks.
By the third quarter, the Celtics had dashed out to a 25-point lead, and all appeared to be merry and bright.
The NBA is a game of ebb and flow. You're going to see all kinds of bizarre last-second things. You're going to see all kinds of big leads blown.
But it appeared that a Christmas miracle was coming true for the team that resided a few blocks from 42nd Street. The Knicks would play the role of the Grinch, stealing away a victory from the Green, 113 to 104.
The takeaway from that was McHale not making the trip with the team.
You know, I wasn't apologetic about it. I'd do it again if I had to do it. You know, if I had to do it again, I'd do it again.
And I respect Kevin for his decision and standing up for something that he really believed in.
The one thing I learned as I went through my career was everyone's different. You know, people don't take the game as seriously 24/7 as I did, and that's okay.
One thing you can say about Kevin, he was dependable. So none of us had any issue with it. Obviously, the league did.
You know, I remember Red, like 5 days later, came up to me and he said, we're not going to find you. I'd probably stay home with my family too, don't worry about it. And I just kind of laughed about it, and we moved on.
New York was not a great team. It was a team that we should have beat, and like we, you know, but it was a pattern with the team that year. It was a pattern that we would get these big leads and then maybe get a little bored because, again, our minds were really always on the Lakers and the NBA championship.
NBA Finals.
After an embarrassing Christmas Day loss, it was clear the Celtics needed to refocus in the new year.
This should be better than it is, and the Knicks game kind of drove that home to them.
After that New York travesty, we did some soul searching.
We need to maybe cut down on some of the extracurricular activity and get serious.
Everybody showed up after a big New Year's Eve night. We thought it'd just probably be a pretty average kind of practice, kind of low key, and then we play the next night. Well, KC had a real tough practice that night. I mean, he killed us that night.
The changing of the calendar year would lead to a New Year's resolution for the Celtics.
No, man, it's the prime rib. Prime rib.
Lobster. Ooh. I tell you, it's the salad bar.
Well, boys, after a meal like this, there's only one way to show our appreciation.
Well, I just remember they said we're not going to drink till we win a championship.
Are these like commercials? Oh, that was a funny clip, man. That was a funny clip.
Championship, and all I asked was, I hope we're planning on winning it this year because I will break my vow if it goes longer than this June.
Bird was kind of the first one. He goes, "That's it." He goes, "I'm not drinking till the season's over."
Be big and tough and strong and eat lobster.
Hey, I know what these guys need. A little more practice.
I don't remember whose idea it was, honestly. Someone said it was Larry's idea. I can assure you it wasn't Larry's idea. Of all the things I can assure you of, it wasn't Larry Bird's idea.
I can remember somebody come in the locker room and said, no more beer or alcohol the rest of the year. I like to drink my beer, and I wasn't very happy about it.
You know, Bird was a partier in his early days. Actually, probably today too.
To understand what a big sacrifice this was, it's hard to explain, you know, but we had guys that went hard every night, and popping a cold one was one of the best tastes you can ever have.
Heck yeah, it is. Heck yeah, it is.
I said, well, hell, you're not giving up anything. I said, you you give up something.
Kind of late, aren't we, guys? You think you can handle it?
It was something that I think that was important. I think it was a bonding experience on top of it being, you know, like every player should make some sacrifices to be the best player they can be, since that is their career.
Right.
With their newfound focus, the Celtics started January off by winning 15 out of 16 games. But a meeting with the Hawks would prove to be something to talk about.
Atlanta was trying to...
Hold on. Before we continue on, okay, ladies and gentlemen, man, to come up with a pack to not drink a cold one until the end of the season, when in the championship, that's got to be hard. That is hard. I like to drink me a cold one here and there, man. Relaxing, ready to go. But I like this time of basketball. Number one, Red Auerbach was smoking his cigars inside the stadiums, you know, victory cigars. But to be able to have like the beers and stuff in our locker room, bro, what a time to be alive, man. Shout out to you guys that were there around that time to witness this. Whoa, get you a cold one during halftime or after the game, or who knows, man, even before the game, who knows? Wow.
Build itself up as a serious team in the Eastern Conference. They were up by 20 in the first half and by more than 20 at halftime.
Eddie Johnson, the little guard on our team, got into it with Bird and McHale, I think, walking off the floor. I didn't know anything about it.
Eddie was, we always come not in his right frame of mind.
K.C. Jones, I think, got really mad at us 2 times the whole time he coached me, and that was one night. He was very upset with us the way we're playing. He was upset the way Atlanta was talking to us, and
right.
He kept reminding us that they're the instigators and we're retaliators. We got to be the instigators.
We come out in the second half, and you can see right at the beginning, Bird was brutal with his trash talk.
Dominique had a chance to win the game at the free throw line, and he missed 2 free throws after Larry gave him the choke sign. Celtics went on to win.
I don't remember ever choking at the line, but you know, you miss free throws.
We learned the lesson. You know, don't wake up the sleeping dog, and we woke him up.
Bird's trash-talking ways extended far beyond Atlanta. Larry had a way with words and continually proved this throughout his career.
Larry often had something to say after he made a basket, after he made a play. You know, was he the greatest trash talker of all time? A lot of people think he was the most consistent trash talker of all time.
Yes, he was.
Trash talked all the time.
Larry always denies this, but he was the biggest trash talker that ever lived. They were playing the Pacers. You know, he just torched Chuck Person for 40-some-odd points and then said, "Merry Christmas." You know, like that's the kind of stuff he used to do.
Bird was by far the worst of the lot in terms of the trash talking, but he backed it up.
He would take players and he would be like, "Okay, next time on the court, here's what I'm going to do to you, okay? I'm going to take you in the post, I'm going to pump fake left, I'm going to look to the right, I'm going to scoop up and under, and then I'm going to score on you." And then he'd come down and do exactly what he told them.
Didn't anybody have the thought of mind like, he ain't going to do this on me, man? Nobody had to challenge Larry Bird when he was doing all this trash talking. Like, legit. He's telling you what he's going to do on the other end of the floor. Man, at this point, I would have hard fouled him. Like, nah, he ain't doing this on me. Ain't no up and under. Dang, that's crazy.
Working on Wilkins. Fakes it.
Woo, beautiful.
Patriots fan? Big Patriots fan. Many, many years. Been coming up there since I was a little kid, about 3 times a week just watching practice.
The Celtics weren't the only team in Boston focused on winning a title in January of 1986. The New England Patriots had fought their way to their first championship game to take on the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20.
And we know that when they get on that plane, they're going to represent us in New Orleans and join with the Celtics and the Bruins and the Red Sox as the world champion.
All of New England prepared to huddle around their televisions on the evening of January 26th to cheer on the underdog Patriots. Everybody, including the Celtics, but not before a matinee appearance at the Garden against the Sixers.
We beat Philadelphia, Barkley and Dr. J here on Super Bowl Sunday.
Bill had a Super Bowl party at his house in Cambridge.
He did.
There might have been a few hall passes to maybe escape the non-beer thing. We found a way to sneak around that rule every once in a while.
As a rookie, you have to always remember there's programs that you just end up missing. So the Super Bowl party was one that it went slightly above my pay grade.
He hadn't built up enough trust to be invited to that party. I just leave it at that.
2 weeks after being mauled by the Bears in Super Bowl 20, the Patriots weren't the only ones seeing stars in Boston. Boston's Big Three was named to the Eastern Conference All-Star team, with Casey Jones getting the nod as head coach. But the excitement of the All-Star game may have been overshadowed by Bird before it even began.
In the mid-'80s, they were starting to make a big deal out of All-Star Weekend, and part of the attraction of that was to create things.
The three-point contest was started for the 1986 All-Star Game in Dallas.
Had the slam dunk competition had come in, and now here comes the three-point contest.
You're starting something from scratch. You want it to be accepted. You want Larry Bird in there. The thing with Larry, I think the prize that year was $10,000 for first place in the three-point shot contest.
This meant he could make $10,000 in like 5 minutes. I mean, for 5 minutes of work, and that was all.
Hey, $10,000 for 5 minutes. Who wouldn't want to do that? I feel Larry Bird on this one. Guys. $10,000 for 5 minutes of shooting. Whoever wins first place. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Was attractive to him.
I can make 10 grand shooting threes, so he practiced for it.
Be like a guy practicing home run derby, before going.
Bird was never more confident, never feeling greater than that year. And he walks into the locker room in advance of the three-point contest and says, "Which one of you guys finished in second?"
Typical Larry, yeah. I mean, Larry was as sure of himself as any player I've ever been around.
Now, who the hell says that if you can't back it up?
Off the backboard. What is this?
Glowing legend of his.
He shows up at the news conference saying, "I'm the three-point king," and he's raising his finger, and I think he singled out Dan Shaughnessy.
He came into the press conference and he said, "I'm the three-point king. Put that in your paper, Dan Shaughnessy." I said, "Okay." And he just carried on, and he was so happy to have made $10,000 in like 5 minutes of work.
Larry, what do you do with the money? He says it's going to go to the Larry Bird Fund. That was the coup at the end of the day.
Larry, he holds down a lot of his talent to benefit the team a lot too. But if you ever see him on that night when he just feels like coming to shooting it.
Bird's mid.
Dennis Johnson just mentioned something that is very important, which makes him a very, very great player. I said it in the beginning. Larry Bird, if he wanted to, he could have had them scoring titles or whatever, accolades, individual. Here we go. Individual accolades that's out there. The MVPs came with his performances, championships, finals MVP, all these other things. If he wanted to, he could have been the main alpha, got his shots. 30 points, a game, maybe like 10 rebounds, like 6-7 assists. He would have got his numbers. But would it have translated over to what it is now about the team, about winning, about championships? No. And that's where a majority of these players, through different eras of basketball, are like, hey man, Let me get mines. Let me get mines. But nah, man, this is what makes this team really good. The Boston Celtics team and the system. It's all about the team, man. And it goes down to the last person on the bench. Each contribution is very, very important. Hey, man, that's Dennis Johnson's mentioned it perfectly. Dumbed down. Well, he toned it down for the team. You get me? If it was individual, it would have been a different story, you know?
Season theatrics would continue against the Portland Trail Blazers. Larry would exact revenge for their only home loss to the Blazers by taking matters into his own left hand.
Uh-oh.
There's Bird.
This is the year he starts shooting left hand.
Hold on. Wait. That home loss that happened in the Boston Garden, everything is connecting now. So this was a revenge game, number one. And then he played the first 3 quarters with his left hand. Bro, that's different. That is different. Whoa.
More and more. Culminating in the game in Portland.
Far Bird's there.
I do believe that the game got almost too easy for him. So he was manufacturing little challenges for himself.
You have to play games left-handed, or you have to do different things to keep your interest in the game.
Bird against Kersey.
It heightens the legend to levels, beyond belief. But this stuff really happened.
Bird's boredom resulted in a 47-point performance in Portland, scoring nearly half his points intentionally with his left hand.
The game got close. I had to go back to the right one.
Blazers up by a point.
Now, Bird can't beat you right there. You got to keep him under control. They don't.
Final score in overtime. Boston 120 breaks the Blazers' hearts 119.
That's how good he got. That's how great he was.
We were really lucky to come away with a win here. We'd like to play the Blazers more, though. It's a good rivalry, really good matchups, and I really like being on Larry Bird's team.
I guess you do. All right, Bill, thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations to you.
Great to be here.
The Celtics, I think, at that time were the top sports franchise in town in terms of popularity.
So it was impossible to get a ticket to a Celtics game.
It became very much a happening as much as it became a basketball game. If I can be anywhere in the city on this night, I want to be at the Celtics game.
When I was at the Garden, they wanted a piece of me, and I understood that. But everybody knows me. Everywhere I go, people recognize me.
Having Larry here just changed everything. The team was so popular, and they were popular all around the country.
When you traveled with the Celtics, no matter what time we got to the hotel, 2, 3 in the morning, the lobby's full of people. Green people, we called them. They were everywhere.
We were like the Beatles.
Oh, we were treated like royalty.
They were essentially rock stars.
I just thought that was normal. I really didn't know until maybe later in the middle of the season or toward the end of the season that that's not how every NBA team operated.
They were just entertaining America. Their road games were absolutely, it's what they were doing. I got to tape every game. I'll never see anything like this again. No, you won't, and we haven't.
Despite now playing in Hollywood, Cedric Maxwell was nostalgic for the limelight of the Garden upon his return to Boston.
Well, just a lot of old memories and a lot of great games that I played in, and just a lot of fond memories. When they announced my name, and
hey, shout out to really cool. The crowd and everybody paying him his respect, man. Let's go.
Considering
the end of ovation.
That fallen angel, that person who had left.
Off to Scottwood, gets it to Danny Ainge. Boston up by 5. Bullet pass to Bird. Bounce to Parrish.
The Celtics sunk the Clippers, clinching a playoff berth on February 28th.
Dennis,
the earliest
let's
the team had ever
go.
done so, and a mark that would stand until 2016.
Bird kept it alive to Walton for 2.
As the calendar turned to March, the Celtics arrived in Dallas, where Larry Bird would be the one playing the role of the Maverick.
I was mad at Kevin and Bill before the game. They were messing around in Dallas, and I was very upset. So I went out and I told them, I don't need you guys. I'll win it by myself. I score 50 and we lose. But I made my point.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Who did he mention that was messing around? Was it Kevin and Bill Walton? And he told him that. Did those two end up playing the game still, or Did they have to sit out? Larry scored 50. You see what I was talking about with the individual thing? This is a perfect example. He scored 50 and they still lost. He still got his and still lost. Imagine what his career trajectory would have been if Larry Bird was one of those type of players that was like, it's all about me. Let me get my points. This is a perfect example right here. Scoring 50 and losing. It's not about one player cannot beat the opposite team. It takes the entire team. So this is a perfect example what Dennis Johnson was saying. He could have, but that example right there, it's a loss, and he had 50 points. That's it. It wasn't a win. Damn.
Bird's message was clear. The team went on a season-best 14-game win streak, but it was their uncanny ability to pass the ball that was turning heads around the league.
They double Bird. That leaves Parrish open over
nice.
Let's
Nice.
get serious here. It starts with Larry Bird. Larry Bird's the greatest passing forward in history. He's the best forward in history, and within that, he's the best passing forward in history.
That's
Passed through people's legs, passed around people's heads, passed without looking.
Larry to McHale. Two.
It does come down to the fact that Larry Bird set a tone, and everyone got in the spirit of the thing.
It was almost like they wanted to outdo each other to make the more amazing pass.
McHale. Basket will count.
Bill Walton's the greatest passing big man in the history of basketball.
What could be better than helping your teammates play?
I wanted to sort of play with the second unit because Walton was always looking to pass. If you threw the ball in the post and you cut, you know, you're getting the ball.
He basically knew what I was going to do and when I was going to cut, the way I set up, and vice versa. The backdoor plays was always, if the guy turns his head, it's coming.
Yep.
Just be ready.
You throw a pass to any one of those guys, they're gonna.
Bro, you gotta love playing with these two, man. How you gonna have one player that's the best passing big ever, or one of? You could do your debates down in the comment section. Then you got one of the best passing forwards, and they're both on the same teams. They're both unselfish. Bro, these passes are crazy. And then you got Bill Walton, the sixth man, right? He's in charge of the second string, the bench. He's leading the second string, Bill Walton. Former MVP, former champion. And he's unselfish, especially being on that Boston Celtics team. And then you got Larry Bird. And now you see that both on the court at the same time, feeding off each other. Wow, that's crazy.
Catch it and turn it into goal.
It's just beautiful. It's ballet. And
wow.
A lot of it was eye contact and just instinct.
It was the best passing team I've ever seen, and the reason was because the bigs could pass it as well as the guards.
So when you have McHale and Parrish down low, you want to give them the ball as much as you possibly can.
Player as he is, he only can concentrate.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts with them. They took teams apart by passing, and
Damn.
they took great pride in that.
Keeping it alive for the Celtics. Walton look away to Bird. Behind the back, Wedman.
The Celtics finished the regular season with the best record in the NBA, headlined by an astonishing 40-1 record at home.
Yes, sir.
This team was not only didn't lose at home, wasn't even really threatened at home.
Yeah, we didn't lose at home very much during that stretch. I mean, we just won a lot, and they were amazed, and I'm like, there was just an expectation level that we weren't going to lose, and I just think you had a bunch of guys with a supreme amount of confidence, and that we were just going to get the job done.
They had teams beat before they even took the floor back then in those games. They just were so good.
With the regular season over, the goal for the Celtics was to make it back to the finals for a rematch with the Lakers.
It was all about the Lakers and us winning a championship. They were our rivals, and that was the team that was going to be in our way to win the championship in '86.
And to have LA and Boston back and forth, Showtime Lakers and the gritty Celtics, what have you, and to have the Larry Magic thing.
When it comes right down to it, they want to play us just like we want to play them. And so we look forward to it. It's great because everybody is excited about it, the whole country, and not just Boston and LA.
The Celtics and the Lakers at that time in NBA history had become the two franchises. Those were the games everybody wanted to see. Those were the games that showed up on national TV on Sunday afternoon. And then they used to joke about nobody would watch the playoffs until the Celtics and Lakers got to the final, and then they would do it.
I don't think any of us had any doubts that we were gonna have the Lakers again and have another crack at the Lakers.
Before Bird and Magic could face off once again in the finals, the Celtics had to make their way through the Eastern Conference. The Celtics would...
Hold on. I'm sorry, I had to pause. I'm just looking at the teams that were in the playoffs. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, that's good. On both
start their
sides.
journey toward Banner 16 by facing the Chicago Bulls in the first round of the playoffs.
Back then, they were like still a kind of an expansion team. They were not to be taken seriously.
I don't think that we viewed the Bulls as a threat, although, you know, Michael hadn't played most of that year.
Michael had broke his foot at some point earlier in the year. He came back, finished the season out. But honestly, we prepped for him, but the prep was pretty much like, let's get these guys out of here. You know, let's just beat them.
People had heard of Michael Jordan and knew of his exploits, but we had no idea. And he lights us up.
A third-year guard by the name of Michael Jordan scored 49 points for the Bulls in Game 1. While Jordan's performance was impressive, it would not be enough to defeat the Celtics, as Boston claimed victory in the Garden.
That game, which was on national TV, was everybody kind of awoke and said, holy smoke, he's pretty good.
Well, no one's going to stop Jordan. The best you can do is try to delay him or try to keep the ball from him.
He is by far the best guard in the league.
Yeah, even if I score 60 points, I'd rather give up all the points for a win.
Kind of
Oh, there you go.
He'll never do that again.
What do the Bulls have to do for game 2?
Pray.
Now we get to Sunday afternoon. It's game 2. And it's one of the great playoff games in history.
Here he is, the move. What a great shot. And a basket and a foul.
They're shaking their heads going, what is going on here? They're beating the Celtics in Boston Garden in the playoffs. This can't happen.
You were saying he can't keep this up, and he did keep this up.
They cannot stop him. They cannot do anything with him.
He was dunking on them, and he was doing stuff to them that like Magic didn't do.
Ooh. We kept telling each other, whatever happens, do not let them win the game. We don't care if he score 80.
I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh man, we're going to have to go to overtime to beat these dudes.
Michael in the drive across the lane, turnaround shot, got it! 63 for Jordan. A new NBA record has been set in the Boston Garden.
Jordan's 63-point performance proved to be a forlorn fate, as the Celtics would win Game 2 in double overtime, 135 to 131. Jordan's 63 points still stands as an NBA playoff record.
At the end of that game, we said, hey, this guy Michael, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah. Don't sleep on him.
One of Bird's greatest quotes, that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Loved that quote, and he could see. He wasn't stupid. He could see this young guy was really something special.
Michael was spectacular, and sometimes you get hot and you score a lot of points. But that day in a playoff game in the Boston Garden, that was special.
We probably took them for granted a little bit and probably took him for granted a little bit, but it was the start of Michael Jordan becoming Michael Jordan.
Obviously, he was talented. You know, scored that many points. I don't care if it's in the church league. 63 is 63. We just didn't want him making a reputation off us.
Still, there's no one person that's going to, I think, beat 5 people on a court.
It doesn't hurt because it gives us confidence going back home. You know, we know that we can contend with these guys. We can beat them. And, you know, we showed it tonight.
He had gotten our attention. You know, I think everybody in the world knew that Michael Jordan was somebody to be reckoned with.
I would have took it as an insult. One guy single-handedly beat us because I thought we was all that.
You know, to beat these guys, you got to play it 4 quarters.
I think we're just going to keep taking the ball down low and see what happens.
Now I go to Chicago, and you figure the place is going to be raucous, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Well, they took the credit out of the game.
Bird, they double on him. That gives it to McHale to Parrish. Oh!
We went in there, we're like, okay, man, let's get these guys out of here.
McHale up a nice feed.
Maybe we'll just double team him every time he gets the ball, no matter where he is on the court.
We shut him down. We kind of crushed him.
All you got to do is put all 5 guys on Jordan, and that's it. Let the other team let the other teammates beat you. That's what I'm seeing right now. Sheesh, look at this. He's right here in the middle, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Surrounded. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. They gotta beat you. Damn.
Robert Parrish with a quick hand. Here comes the
Despite all of Jordan's efforts to lead the charging Bulls, when the dust had settled, the Celtics had swept Chicago in 3 games.
Swept the broom.
No matter how good
What?
you are, you still cannot beat us.
Great player. I'm glad I'm on the Celtics.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
As the Celtics advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals,
Here we go. So Atlanta beat Detroit. Here's is this the Isaiah Thomas, the Joe Dumars, the Beer Lambert, Mahorn? This team right here with Dominique, man. I know these battles right here. Boston and Atlanta guys. Shit. Hey.
they would face another young team led by a unique high-flying forward.
You knew Dominique would probably have a 30-plus night, would probably have a couple of dunks that really lit people up. But the Celtics were a very coldly confident bunch.
Bird had some what we call real dogs that played with him, like Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge. They had guys that can come at you.
They did have a mistake. You know, it wasn't a Boston Garden. You know, someone told me, hey, is it tough playing the Garden? I said, I'll play the Garden all day. I don't want to play McHale, Parrish, and Bird. That was our problem.
First of all, they swept the Hawks in the regular season and didn't have that much trouble with the Hawks. They won games 1 and 2 at home with no sweat. Easy.
Bird working on Wilkins. Oh, that was a yes.
Damn.
He hit some tough shots, you know, and you can't do anything about that.
We knew going into each one of the games that it was going to be a battle. Every game. It wasn't no games that we said we're going, it's going to be an easy game.
Rivers. Oh, my goodness.
If I didn't get 30 plus a night, it was tough for us to win.
Bird the steal. Saw that one coming. Will Willis catch him? Nope.
They played hard, gave whatever they had. We were just a little bit short tonight.
In Game 3, Dominique soared to a 38-point performance for the Hawks, but it was not enough as the Celtics took a commanding 3-0 lead in the series.
How you have 38 points and you still lose? Why? One person can't beat a team. Damn. Come on, man. You had Jordan in the first round. Now you got Neek right here. And he's averaging, what, 30 points a game? Still can't be. Hey, man, one player cannot beat 5. You can't do 1 versus 5.
Boston appeared to be on the verge of sweeping another opponent in the playoffs, but they were faced with a small problem in Game 4.
To make it worse, they're not only beaten by the Hawks, they're beaten by a 5'6" guy, a little munchkin.
Spud Webb beat him. How about that?
Defense done well, and here's Spud Webb again. Celtics are back on defense. Doesn't stop Spud.
Wait a
Made some
second.
turnovers, missed some shots, took some bad shots. But I guess that sometimes can be expected from a team that gets a little too cocky.
Spud came in and gave us a big lift. He's like an energizer out on the floor. He's a guy who can get in the seams, pass it off. He can make the open shot. And when he's doing that, it's tough for people to handle our break.
They were, talking some smack about, we weren't going to lose the last game, all this stuff. And so we were all like a little irritated.
That's why they decided, well, this ain't going back to Atlanta.
Trap with a wing. Larry's got the middle, and he just runs the baseline. Whichever side we take them to.
Now they're coming home up 3-1, and they're playing Game 5 at home. The first half's going along nice. I don't know. Everything's fine. Third quarter, they make history.
Finds Parrish. To Marquez.
I remember talking to Danny about that quarter, and he described it as the perfect quarter of basketball.
An easy 2.
When our team really wanted to and really had to, we were so special.
Wow.
It was a thing of beauty. Everything came together.
Here's the Chief.
We was clicking on all cylinders. everything we did pretty much was right. We could do no wrong.
Quickly to McHale on the cut to Bird.
Yes, excellent pass from McHale to Bird.
What does Mike Fratello do? He just called a bunch of timeouts. He just ran into a tsunami, and we just wiped him off the face of the earth.
It just took all the life out of the Hawks.
It was like we were stuck in mud, and they put on a clinic in that quarter. They really did.
Playing them at times, they would go somewhere else, and you couldn't go there. You know, you knew your team couldn't go there, and it was a humbling experience.
They go off 36-6, including the final 24 points of the period.
Bird the rebound.
You don't outscore.
This team is cutthroat. Ladies and gentlemen, this team is cutthroat. They hit the third gear. They went on a 36-6 run. And then a 24-0 run. What is this to end? Oh my gosh. Oh. Yo, cutthroat. This team is cutthroat. They could hit different gears at the same time. First gear, okay, we're good. All right, we're testing the ropes. Second gear, all right, we already seen how the other team played. Third gear, all right, we're gonna shut it down. If the Celtics hit that fourth, fifth gear, just know it's over. Damn.
4 teams, 36-6 in the playoffs. You just don't. Ended the series right then and there.
You can see what the Garden crowd thinks of that effort by the Celtics. What has to be a record blowout in a quarter.
It was everything that was great about the 1986 Celtics on display in full force for you. Pace, rebounding, shooting, scoring, and again, defense. If you want to go back and look at what the 86 Celtics were all about, call up that third quarter, because that was it in a nutshell.
The
We
Celtics
got
had
next.
reached their third
We got next.
consecutive
Philly.
Eastern Conference
Oh,
Finals,
Milwaukee.
And the next opponent
Thought it was
resembled
gonna
a
be
deer trying to
Philadelphia.
dodge oncoming traffic.
Obviously, they were a handful. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals, so you couldn't take them lightly.
They were a good team. They had Terry Cummings. They had Sidney Moncrief. They were a good team.
Don Nelson was resigned to the greatness of Larry Bird. He knew, we can't beat, we're not at this level. Nobody's at this level.
Milwaukee Bucks head coach Don Nelson knew everything there was to know about the Celtics. He had played 11 seasons in Boston, winning 5 championships along the way, before his number 19 was retired to the rafters in 1978. Nelson, who played alongside Casey Jones during his days with the Celtics, shared his thoughts with the media on his upcoming coaching matchup against his former teammate.
Don Nelson said that he was a better coach and he was a smarter coach than Casey Jones, which pissed me off.
Nelly was needling the Celtics all the time.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Don Nelson? Oh, you just poked the bear, man. What are you doing?
He'd called Danny Ainge a dirty player. And they were irritated with him, the Celtics were. I mean, he was supposed to be, quote, one of them.
We got to come down and show the patience on the offensive end, work and move the ball and catch them with movement of the ball.
We had a great leader in KC, and for him to say that about KC, I personally thought it was insulting and in poor taste.
Yeah.
I know he was trying to motivate his team. I get all that. But he should have never went public with it, because that's all the ammunition I needed to go at him.
Baseline. Parrish. Good ball movement. Excellent ball movement.
I can't speak for my teammates, but it certainly pissed me off and fired me off.
Break and Parrish is free. Robin.
I personally went in.
He going
That's
off.
the first time I ever took a series personal.
The Chief.
Robin.
I get pissed off now thinking about it.
The trap a little bit again. Parrish.
And one.
Count it. A foul.
We wanted to get a good start, and we're fortunate enough to be ahead by 20 points by the end of the first quarter.
We had a lot of good things going for us. The ball movement was excellent, and Larry and Kevin and DJ and Robert, Danny set a good tempo, and we were just able to keep it going.
One of the main reasons the Celtics have been able to keep things going all season was the play of Bill Walton off the Boston bench, who prior to Game 2 of the series received the NBA Sixth-Man Award.
Hey.
There have been many notable sixth men. Celtics, of course, pioneering with John Havlicek and later with McHale, but there'd never been one who was a center, who came off the bench and had the kind of impact on a game that Walton would come to have.
When anybody asks you about the greatest teams, you can say, well, how many had a Hall of Fame center as your sixth man? His enthusiasm was infectious, and he was healthy.
Every game was a special game because we didn't know he was going to be broke down the next game. But that year he played 80 games, and we won a lot of them.
Yes.
Won a lot of them because of him.
Let's go.
Really, really embraced the whole culture of that team.
Words cannot describe the excitement and the pride that I feel in receiving this great award.
In my entire 14 years of professional basketball, I only finished the season twice. I was very fortunate to be on the Celtics when I was able to do it one of those times.
Thank you, Boston. You're wonderful. Now let's go win a basketball game right now.
When you're really
14 years, only healthy twice. Oh my gosh. And one of those years was the Sixth-Man Award, being on that famous 1986 Boston Celtics team as a sixth man, winning the award. Wow.
Really good. And that Celtic team was really good. The opposition, they're irrelevant.
They go to him, Mr. Parrish.
The helpless Bucks watched as everything the Celtics threw at them went in. All 5 starters scored over 20 points in Boston's 122-111 Game 2 victory.
Games 3 and 4 in Milwaukee, if you put those 2 games together, you would be absolutely amazed that one man could dominate so vividly from the forward position.
Back over to Bird. Bird turns around, hit. Bird dumps it in. Got it. Bird gets it.
In Game 4, I can remember Larry just making big three and, one of these walking off the floor into the game, and then he swept him.
The totality of what he did in that series,
wow.
Those 2 games in Milwaukee was a basketball clinic beyond belief.
We know what we got to do to win.
Damn, they swept.
Up to our abilities, we're going to win.
They swept. Damn, they swept Milwaukee. I was hoping that they was gonna play Philadelphia in that Eastern Conference Finals, guys. No disrespect to the Milwaukee Bucks, the coaching and the players and stuff, but I honestly thought that I would see another Celtics and 76ers battle. Damn.
And we feel we have one of the best teams in the league, and if we match up very well against our opponents, and if we play good, strong basketball, we usually win.
Well, babe, that's like an outstanding record for me. 3 conference championships. I think you ought to keep me or sign me up for another 4.
They knew if they won that game that they would be a...
Bro, come on. Bird is not even in this picture, but we have Bill Walton, amazing center, amazing. We got another amazing center, the Chief, Robert Parrish. We got a forward, power forward. Hey, this guy right here, man, Kevin McHale, yo, beast in the post. Damn, that's legit their own big 3 right here. And then you got Larry Bird. Come on, man. The greatest forwards. No, the greatest front court ever, man. 1986.
An extended period of time that they would have off while the other conference finished up.
In the Western Conference, it had come down to 2 teams with a history of battling the Celtics for NBA supremacy. The Houston Rockets, who the Celtics defeated in the 1981 finals, giving Larry Bird his first title, and their bitter rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers and Celtics, arguably at that point, certainly the best rivalry in basketball, no question, and one of the handful of premier rivalries in all of sports.
The Celtics were looking for payback, were ready for payback, felt that they could beat LA, and they wanted to see Magic walk down the corridor with his head down.
I felt that in '85 we didn't give them our best shot. I really wanted a piece of the Lakers.
There it is.
The Celtics, all that season, they measured themselves against the Lakers. Their games, the big games of the regular season were against the Lakers. You know, if you would ask them, do you expect to play Houston in the finals, they would say, Houston who?
The Rockets landed in Los Angeles to take on the defending champs. In Game 1, the Lakers' Showtime brand of basketball was on full display as Magic Johnson and his supporting cast took one step closer to a finals rematch against the Celtics. But Houston would take the next 3 games in the series.
They were well coached and they were really good. They were deep and they were difficult, and they had a style that was similar to ours. And Akeem Olajuwon had emerged as just just one of the best centers ever, along with Ralph.
Houston's Twin Towers, which was made up of a young 7'4" forward, Ralph Sampson, and a second-year center, Akeem Olajuwon, were unstoppable at home, defeating the Lakers in games 3 and 4 of the series.
Maybe we were. I think a little bit beyond the conference finals.
The Lakers wanted the Celtics, and the Celtics wanted the Lakers. And the Houston Rockets crashed the party.
In Game 5, a fight late in the game would lead to the ejection of Olajuwon. The Lakers seized the opportunity, tying the game at 112, hoping to force the Rockets into overtime. But with 1 second left in regulation, Ralph Sampson would make sure that Showtime was over.
Second on the clock. Sampson. It goes. It's over.
86 was a fluke, like just a weird shot.
When Ralph.
Wait a second. Hold on. I gotta go back. Hold on. What?
It's over.
Second on the clock. Sampson.
Bro, Jesus Christ is amazing. I'll tell you that. Jesus Christ is amazing, man. Bro, the percentage and the possibility of that going in has to be 0.1%.
86 was a fluke, like just a weird shot.
When Ralph made that shot, I'm going, holy smoke, they just beat the Lakers.
If anybody believes there is a basketball God, he answered a prayer. No way it should have gone in.
Jesus is amazing.
I actually feel bad for the Lakers, and that was the first and only time I ever did.
Ralph makes a crazy kind of turnaround shot. It bobbles in, and I went like, oh, looks like we're gonna have to beat Houston.
There is no question.
Oh, man. How would you Boston fans feel? I mean, a win is a win. A win is a win, honestly. But to have, they spoiled the party. Houston spoiled the party for the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh my gosh.
And the people were disappointed not to see the purple and gold show up again.
Well, we always play the Lakers. There's no question about it.
Even though the Rockets were a really good team, I was shocked.
It was very disappointing that we didn't get a chance to play against the Celtics once again in '86. It's a tough loss.
Here, everyone in Boston is ready to anoint this as the greatest basketball team of all time. And then the only way to really, cap that off is to beat the Lakers.
1986, Boston, Houston. 1981 was the other time, too, that they spoiled it for the Los Angeles Lakers. Dang, man. The playoffs is always different. You can never underestimate the opposing team, but damn.
And instead, they never get the chance.
The one drawback to the 85-86 Celtics is who they played in the finals.
The Houston Rockets that year, that time, were better than the Lakers. They were coming. They were a team of the future.
There was an inevitability about that in my mind that we were just going to win. It was just a matter of who it was, and I'd much rather have beaten the Lakers. But Houston was there, so
Yep.
you know, we were going to beat them.
It's over. Number one in the West.
If that's, hey, come on. Hey, let's be honest. I understand they're number one in the West. Is that all they're aiming for? They're celebrating like they won the championship. Nah, man. No. That's not the type of behavior. I mean, yeah, y'all beat the Lakers, but if that's all they're aiming for, I want to know what happens in this NBA Finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Most high above courtside.
Houston doesn't have
the Lakers
Magic.
are not here. Magic is not here. Akeem is, and he will do nothing.
Watch this. The Rockets are going
Look at these people.
This is what the Celtics are going to do to the Houston Rockets.
What is?
They're going to crush you.
There's nothing.
You see, the players are acting the same way as. No, the fans are acting in the same. Nah, let's see. Yo, I'm hyped for this.
Like playing basketball in the Boston Garden, the playoffs, when the crowd's really into it. Like I told Bill Walton one time, I said, when they're standing the whole game, they want to win. And Bill came up with the lines, they want blood, and they don't care whose it is, you know.
Right.
So, and it's true.
Heading into Game 1, the underdog Rockets seemed unfazed by Larry Legend and the Boston Celtics.
I'm 6'11". You know, we can play against anybody in the league without any question. I can do it against anybody, so I don't have nothing to worry about.
Akeem Olajuwon's confidence was apparent as he scored 33 points, but it was not enough to beat the Celtics in Game 1.
You're going to have to do something better than your natural, normal game in order to beat Boston. That's how good they are.
On the heels of a Game 1 victory, Larry Bird's legendary season continued to grow, as he was named MVP for the third straight year.
When he gets going, he's Larry. He keeps getting better and better, and there isn't anybody in the world that's going to stop him.
In Game 2, Bird dominated in all aspects of the game, as the Celtics blew out the Rockets 117-95.
Overall, we did very well and played the game the way it's supposed to be played.
It's embarrassing to be in a championship series and have one team dominate you the way Boston dominated tonight.
I think they sort of went.
Well,
down
no
to-
shite, Sherlock. What y'all thought y'all was coming against, man? Bring your A game. Bring everything. Make sure your game plan is on point. Honestly. Come on. What are we doing?
Houston, thinking that they're going to win it down there.
Let's face it, if you play 4 games the way we played the last 2, we'll all be fishing in a week.
The Rockets put their fishing trip on hold as Houston pulled off a 2-point win in Game 3. In Game 4, the Celtics got back on track and were just a single win away from the title.
And the Walton. Walton holds it. Back out to Bird. 3-point attempt. A 3-point field goal to Larry Bird.
No question, it's very possible teams can come back from 3-1, you know, but that's what we're out there to try and stop.
They better not let us get ahead of them, because if we get that close to winning the championship with a lead, I doubt we'll give one up.
Ralph Sampson was off to an impressive start, scoring 12 points early in Game 5. But in the second quarter, Sampson snapped.
On the right now, quickly it goes. There's Sampson. Leveled.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. We got the brawl.
Me from behind when I went over there, and the ref called the foul. The play stopped, and when that happened, I turned around and, you know, I just kind of walked up, and that's when he threw the first punch. My arms were down.
And now they're fighting. There's the fight going on right now.
Johnny went nuts.
Sampson started the whole damn thing. Ralph Sampson showed his true colors. He is a gutless big guy who picks.
Who is this? Who is this announcer, bro? Somebody go get him a cup of water. Dog. It's like he's probably been doing it for a very long time, guys. Like
on the little people.
Usually that would have been me that would have got in the fight with the big guy. Matter of fact, I've been accused of being the guy that got in the fight. People still to this day, like, yeah, when you got in a fight with Sampson, I go, no, that was Seasting.
That was Seasting,
Everybody
yeah.
wants to take a shot at Jerry, and hell, my girlfriend can whip him.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what Ralph Sampson was thinking at the time, guys. What could have caused the interaction with Jerry Easting? But come on, Ralph, that's out of pocket.
A foul should have been called. Somebody jumped at me, and I did what I had to do to protect myself.
Just a few weeks ago on my LinkedIn account, Ralph friended me on LinkedIn, so, you know, it's all under the bridge now.
Sampson's ejection sparked the Rockets as they avoided elimination in a 111-96 win in Houston.
Dang.
I don't think anybody said a word in the locker room after the game. There was no talk. It was like we could hear the Rockets fans celebrating.
We basically just played terrible in every aspect of the game.
We want to get this stuff over with. I'm tired of playing.
If you say that, then you expect it to be over.
I expect this to be over with Sunday.
Now holding a 3-2 series lead, the Celtics headed home, distressed and determined to end the series.
We arrived in Boston for a practice. There was still no conversations. We get in practice, and I remember our starters were just crushing the second unit.
Ooh. All that hostility came out.
There was almost fights from as soon as we started. I mean, it was 10 minutes into practice. KC just called off practice, said, "We're ready. Go home, rest, see you tomorrow."
The prevailing view is the
Just like that? Hold on. Just like that guy? Just called off practice? Holy moly. We're ready. What?
Rockets have merely been granted a stay of execution, but there are some who will tell you this is a new series.
Larry Bird was sitting home in Brookline watching television and saw the television coverage of the Rockets arriving in Boston and took one look at Ralph and said, "We don't have to worry about him. He's out of this."
Game 6 was appointment television across the country as fans tuned in to watch Bird attempt to hang another banner at the Rockets' expense.
I never get tired of seeing this right here, man. Damn, y'all. Savagery. Then I got this over here hanging over the balcony. Oh, man. This is what you would love to see. This is what you like to see as a sports fan, man.
If you're playing
That's
the Celtics,
crazy.
you do not want to go into a game where Larry Bird says this is the most focused I've ever been for a game, because you're in trouble if that's the case.
We were all like pissed off. We were ready to go. And there wasn't even a doubt in my mind that we were going to just trounce them.
They swing it around a Walton on the right side, off the glass, and Bill Walton makes it a 28-point lead.
It just felt we were invincible. Like there's no way anybody's going to stop us.
With the outcome inevitable, Larry Bird and the starters could begin to breathe a sigh of relief as the final minutes ticked off the clock.
I don't think anybody could have beat us that day. When I got taken out of that game, my heart started pounding really hard, and I was very nervous that I was going to pass out because just the excitement. I was sky high. I mean, my heart was pumping hard.
It is all up. This Gordon Brown has erupted. It is over. It's 16. Sweet 16. The Boston Celtics are the world champions for the 16th time.
I was just so happy. And I'm still happy to this very day.
We knew we had it because we came out to play. We played hard. We missed a lot of free throws, but we stuck in there and was very aggressive and took the game right away from them.
And we all felt so good about it all year long, and we worked so hard to put ourselves in a position to win it.
It is undoubtedly the best season we ever had. We did it all on defense. When you have three like that, I don't think there's no way you can lose, and we didn't.
It was the end of like a magical
Beautiful.
ride of
Beautiful.
supreme confidence, supreme inevitability that we were going to win, we were going to find a way. And just a group of guys that were really, really tight.
86 was a great feeling and an incredible year.
The joy of and excitement of being a champion, the NBA champion and world champion, just unmatched.
This was our time, our moment, and our team was not going to be denied.
Fantastic. Absolutely incredible feeling.
That day, that year, that team, my dreams did come true.
It was kind of a letdown in that it was over. What am I going to do tomorrow? I mean, I don't want this to end.
2 days later, 1.5 million Celtic fans stormed the streets of Boston for a parade culminating at City Hall in celebration of Banner 16.
Barry Seastree might not be able to whip Ralph Sampson, but I know I can. Hakeem Olajuwon never heard of Celtic tradition. I bet he had some sleepless nights in the past couple of days. Who's got a beer? We need some beer up here. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get some beer, man. Hey, man.
This is the greatest. We have the best team. You guys refuse to let us lose. Thank you very much.
I want to thank the city of Boston and the fans. Give yourself a big applause. You've been great all year. Thank you.
Everybody, let's have a nice time this summer. A lot of beers, a lot of relaxation, and let's do it again.
Come on, man. Bring the beer out. Bring everything out, man. Come on. This is what we've been waiting for. Gotta love it, man. Shout out to them. Handled it like true professionals. They were a team, too. Everybody contributed. It's not always about the starting five. It's about the guys that's sitting at the end of the benches, too. So that's really good. Can't forget the coach, too. Hey, guess what? Can't forget the architect who built this team. Who built this team? Come on, man. Red Auerbach. Gotta give him credit, too.
I don't think anybody thought this would be the last one. No more championships. That was unthinkable on that day.
This makes my life so much happier. I mean, I love the Celtics. We don't realize how lucky we are to be in a sports town like Boston.
Red Auerbach had produced a championship team in 1986 and was preparing for another finals run in 1987.
Second pick goes to the Boston Celtics.
Wow.
The Boston Celtics select Len Bias of the University of Maryland.
What would happen if we ever get in the lottery and get a chance to get that guy, Bias?
I like the team, I like the area, and it'll be a chance for me to learn and grow as a player.
I was with Len Bias in Boston at 11 to 12 o'clock at night. He had just signed a contract with Reebok, who I was with. I woke up the next morning and stopped to get gas, and the gas station attendant told me that Len Bias had died, and I was like, no, he didn't. I was just with the guy like 8 hours.
It was just with the guy. Oh, brother.
Hours ago, there's no way.
Just 2 days after becoming a Celtic, Len Bias was dead, the victim of a cocaine overdose.
Leonard Bias was pronounced dead at 8:50. The cause at this time is cardiorespiratory arrest.
Len Bias was by far the best athlete coming out of college this year.
We spent a couple of days with him, and now he's not here.
It was just like shocking, and I was just devastated.
They didn't even have time to imagine what it would be like with him because he was gone before it even happened.
Len Bias, dead at age 22.
I tell you, this year's team's going to have a lot of excitement in us. We're not going to live on last year's laurels. You stay behind us, and we'll be right back here next year doing the same thing.
The following season, Banner 16 was raised to the rafters, with the majority of the 86 roster still intact. The Celtics were poised to repeat as champions.
Really, the hard part starts. It's not so much, it's hard in winning a title, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's harder defending this title.
5 seconds to go. Magic with a hook shot, scores with 2.
We made it to the finals with broken feet, Bill not playing, run down on just grit alone.
This got me thinking. Just thinking, like, rest in peace, Len Bias. If Len Bias was healthy and the overdose didn't happen, Danny Ainge was just with him. I'm thinking about a hypothetical. I know everything is already cemented, but if Len Bias was healthy for this season right here, 1987, after being drafted in the 1986 what would the outcome have been? Would it have been a different outcome? Would the Celtics have gone back to back, winning the 1987 as well? They weren't healthy. Man, they was beaten up in the finals, still battling. That's crazy.
Bird fires it.
The Lakers beat us. It's unfortunate that the Lakers won another title against us.
It was never the same after that because somebody was always getting hurt.
For some reason, I don't know, whatever it is, it seems that the team who's won has been kind of snake-bitten next year as far as injury goes, as far as just having kind of some bad luck.
At the start of the season, the prevailing attitude was that I was going to be able to play even more this year than I played last year. I certainly felt that way.
Walton would only play 10 games in the 1986-87 season before hanging up his jersey.
Dang it.
1986 was
10.
Larry's finest year. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And it was really the last year he was completely healthy.
Ravaged by injuries, Bird was forced to walk away from the game in 1992.
Unfortunately, it all came down to this. I would like to play a little bit longer, maybe a year or two more, but there's just no way possible I was going to be able to do that.
They went one by one. Larry went after 92, and Kevin went after 93. And then eventually Robert, he winds up in Chicago and he winds up in Charlotte and plays the most games anybody in the history of the league.
We were much more like meteors. We came in, we flamed hard, and we flamed out, but we gave you what we had along the way. It was a good show. It didn't last long, but it was a good show.
You knew you were going to have to pay for all the good eventually. I mean, very rarely do you see a dynasty go out on top. Dynasties, as you say, tend to crumble slowly.
Unthinkably, the future of the Celtics dynasty crumbled before their own eyes. In 1993, budding star Reggie Lewis died as a result of a heart defect.
Just think about it.
Bro, what? Gosh, wow.
Len Bias and Reggie Lewis, they would
What?
have rebuilt on the fly with these two amazing young players. And then when it came time for Bird and McHale and Parrish and all those guys to step aside, you would have had two superstars ready to carry on. And instead, it just all collapsed in a heap.
The Celtics had lost their heart with Reggie's passing and would lose their voice as well, as legendary radio broadcaster Johnny Most also passed in 1993.
It was bad. It was all bad, and it didn't really turn around.
Do not build a new garden. If you're going to build a new garden, just renovate this one.
The garden closed its doors in 1995 and was eventually torn down, making way for the Fleet Center and new leadership. In 1997, Rick Pitino replaced Auerbach as team president and assumed the role of head coach. Armed with the projected #1 overall pick, the Pitino era was off to a dreadful start.
Third pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Boston Celtics.
The Celtics' luck had run out, along with Pitino's patience to restore the Celtics dynasty.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
With Pitino's departure in 2001, the Celtics tradition that Red Auerbach had created was all but gone. 5 years later, in 2006, the patriarch of Boston's dynasty was laid to rest. Red Auerbach died at the age of 89. In
Rest in
2007,
peace, man.
Boston
Rest in
would say
peace,
goodbye
Red.
to another member of the Celtics family.
Wow.
Dennis Johnson, who was coaching in the NBA Developmental League, suffered a heart attack and died in February of 2007. He was just 52 years old.
I was so upset and depressed that I did not go to his funeral. That's how bad I felt. I just didn't want to see him like that.
Is really finding his groove as a coach and enjoying it, and I think he had aspirations of moving up and getting back in the NBA and all this stuff, and just a shock, way too early.
That really hurt me. It really did.
He was a great friend, a great guy, and someone that has been definitely missed and will always be missed.
How could it go to the highest of the heights to the lowest of the lows the way it did? It was staggering, honestly. And some of the worst part about it was that the rest of the league loved it. They loved that the mighty Celtics had fallen, because they were a little arrogant and they had this swagger about them, and people loved watching them suffer.
Really, I thought they might never get back.
The game's original monarchy has regained the throne. It is the end of a 22-year odyssey. It is Banner 17.
Danny Ainge, who had returned to lead the Celtics basketball operations in 2003, constructed Boston's modern-day Big Three as the Green exacted their revenge over the Lakers in 2008.
As an executive, I felt it when those three came together. It was something very special.
That was like a dream come true. And then especially to do it against the Lakers, I mean, it was just like, whoa, I couldn't have scripted it any better.
When you think of one franchise and you think of the word Big Three, they have two sets of them. That tells you that's a pretty good franchise. It still goes back to Red in a lot of ways. I mean, Red Auerbach's stamp on the Celtics still lives.
Being a guy who embraced the Lakers-Celtic rivalry in the 80s is something that got me into basketball now. I'm not only a part of the Celtic tradition of winning a championship, but I'm a part of, the new rivalry.
That was equal of a highlight for me as 1986.
Boston's 2008 championship would restore the Celtic dynasty. By raising their 17th banner to the rafters, they introduced an entirely new generation to the legacy of the Boston Celtics. As the NBA continues to evolve and new dynasties emerge, many still attest that what the Celtics accomplished in 1986 may be the greatest example of team basketball in history.
I just don't have any fears about this team playing any team it's ever been. I would take them over anybody.
They beat everybody at a time when the league was at its best.
They were, to me, the greatest team of all time. Jordan's teams were fantastic, and Jordan is probably the greatest individual talent I've ever seen in my life. But when we're talking about a team, I'm going to take the '86 Celtics.
It was a unique group of guys that were brought together, and for one magical season, it was just fun. I would take that '86 team and put it against anybody at any time.
We had 5 Hall of Fame players on our team, and we had 2 other guys, Danny and Wedman, that made the All-Star team at one point, and those other teams can't come close to saying that.
The one thing that I'm thrilled about is my numbers hanging in the rafters in the new Boston Garden. It felt better when it was in the old one, but it's in the new one, and when people look up there, hopefully they remember who 33 was.
I think that the '86 Celtics belong at the top, but the greatness of our experiences, this bond that you build as players and people going through those experiences, is way more meaningful than what the pundits have to say about who's better or who's not.
Celtics, they epitomize everything that's great in the world, on and off the court. I'm a proud, loyal, and grateful Celtic.
That was that's another 10 out of 10 documentary. This one I put on par with The Courtship of Rival. Damn, this was good. This was good from beginning to end, guys. Hey, if you made it this far with me and this reaction, thank you. Hit that like button. Helps with the algorithm. It gets it out to all old school basketball fans, also Boston Celtics fans, Larry Bird fans, and Red Auerbach fans, the 1986, fans, all of the above. But man, this is shocking. What hurt me the most was at the end when it's just back to back, tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Man, oh my gosh. But as far as this team, it is the best team of all time. And as they said, they could go against any other team that you could think of that was ever created. This 1986 team is special. Special top to bottom from each and every single player that's on that roster, and the coaches, and guess what? The general manager himself. Red Auerbach, the architect Man, great, great organization. Great organization, man. Man. Hey, I'll catch you guys on the next reaction. Thank you.